Hello and welcome to Horror Wars. My name is Lamont, and I will be guiding you through this macabre dance of a show where two longtime friends put horror movies against their inevitable remake. Please be aware that horror movies, as a general rule of thumb, have violence, gore, murder, rape, dismemberment, crazy practical effects, and much more. Also, the hosts aren't versed in languages from around the world, so they may mess up some names and places here and there. If none of that bothers you, then get ready for a podcast like none other. This is Horror Wars.
Hello out there to all of our guys, gals, non-binary pals, spooky cuties, hair-raising homies, freaks, geeks, and anything in between with a motherfucking butthole. I'm Rob.
I am Josh.
And this is
Horror Wars.
We are the show that puts original horror movies against their remakes in an all-out war to determine which will reign supreme. We do this with a series of scores that we give to one or the other to see who comes out on top. This week, we have The Fog from 1980 versus The Fog from 2005.
Not only that, but we have multiple segments throughout the show as well. Death Peddling is where we usually discuss current events going on in the world of horror, provided by MacabreDaily.com, and sometimes news about us too.
Horror Club is where we review a horror film book club style and will provide a bit of a background before we give it a grading of pass, rent, or buy. This week, we take a look at one of Josh's favorite movies.
Oh, yes.
The Mist from 2007.
Sheesh. And then we get into our list of doom. Where we discuss the episode's top 5. This episode, our list is top 5 Fog or Mist based characters. And
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, that was fucking hard. Like Fog or Mist based characters.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Probably one of the hardest lists.
Yeah.
I'd say the past 2 have been very, very difficult.
Indubitably.
And we followed that with the horrors of gaming, where we talk about horror-related games. On this episode, we're discussing Silent Hill from 1999.
One of my favorite franchises of all time.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't talked about it since what, Silent Hill 4, The Room?
Yeah. I don't even remember what episode that was.
I don't remember what it was for either, but yeah, we discussed it. It was like maybe 15, 20 episodes ago, something like that. And we followed that with you already said that. Finally, we close up shop with our ending segment called The End, where we have our final thoughts on the episode and reveal the next episode of Horror Tube. So with all that, you want to do it?
Horror Tube.
Oh, do it right.
Horror Tube.
There you go. So with all that out of the way, let's get into it.
Death Peddling. We begin the show by whetting your macabre-loving black heart with news and events in the realm of horror that are important to the week we're recording. Also, every now and again, we'll have something to say regarding the host.
And it's time for the news. Kind of.
Yeah. So we're not going to discuss anything from MacabreDaily.com today, but of course we're going to give them a shout out. They are the dark side of pop culture.
Shout outs.
Go to them every day for your horror news, if horror news is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting to that point where horror news is going to start really picking back up. It's September.
It's the most time.
So the reason why we're not doing anything for MacabreDaily.com is because we're going to give you an explanation as to why episode 68 is coming out after 69, which we gave an explanation in 69. But we want to give another one for those who might be confused. This is episode 68, but it is being recorded after episode 69 because episode 68 didn't cooperate.
Yep.
And by the time we were ready to record 69, 68 just wouldn't fucking...
Yeah.
It
couldn't be fixed.
Right. It recorded weird. I had gotten some microphones and thinking that it was going to do better for us. It did significantly worse.
It still sounded good. The best way to explain it is that if you have, well, now earbuds can run with just one, but if you had both earbuds in or headphones it would basically be when I would speak, it would only be in your left ear, and Rob's would only be in your right ear.
Yeah, because no matter how hard I tried to merge them, for some reason the files were incompatible and just didn't fucking merge.
I don't even think you can, to be honest with you. There's probably someone out there like, yes, I would have figured it out.
And look, bro, if you're out there and you can figure that shit out, good for you. Yeah. I couldn't. Really. I don't have degrees in this shit. I don't have anything. I'm going on a wing and a fucking prayer. You know what I mean? So, we evolved last episode 69, but this episode we've evolved yet again. So instead of 2 laptops, it seems like we only need back to 1 laptop and back to 1 Yeti, but just record on Zoom with the fucking overlays because, Jossie was out in the kitchen cleaning up and doing everything that he had to do, break dancing, fucking hitting the pop lock and shit. And yeah. And then we heard nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. Like, I mean, it sounded like an avalanche out there at one point, like Wile E. Coyote hitting a fucking wall, and nothing recorded.
No.
Oh no. We're talking about how good the quality is because, like,
they probably can't even hear what you just said. They probably
can't hear what you just said. They can probably only hear what we're saying to you. Yeah, we're recording. Yeah.
No, you're good, dude.
You're good. But no, so we feel like this has produced the best sound of us, weirdly enough.
And I'm glad I'm checked because my phone was not on silent.
Ooh. I mean, it probably wouldn't matter at this point because it's fucking taking. You can't even hear the fucking fans. We still have 5 fans going and you can't hear them motherfuckers. Oh, yeah. A symphony of fans are still, playing their music.
We are always changing.
Yeah, this is fucking weird, dude. But yeah, so that's pretty much like the news of everything. We're recording 68 again because the original 68 sucked. Like the quality sucked.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the show was good.
The show was good. Yeah, it's just trying to get everything together. Just it wouldn't fucking do it.
Because I can't wait to bitch about these movies again.
Yeah,
because I said fuck it and rewatch them fully. Yeah, and let me tell you, I'm still mad.
Yeah.
Oh,
at the remake.
I just remembered. Yeah. And the original, kind of. I just remembered my other idea. You know how, like, with the video game portion, you title the things? We should come up with alternate titles for the movies, like, if we could think of them. And I'll kind of explain more when we get to The Wall.
Okay.
Just an idea.
All right. I have no idea what he's talking about, but we'll find out soon. So do we have... Oh, we wanted to talk about... this isn't something that we normally do.
Yeah.
We usually wait for HorrorTube to do this, but I was kind of toying around with episode 70 of Horror Wars being The Crow versus The Crow.
Yep.
And we just found out today, like, that the new version is actually going to be on platforms
already
next week.
Didn't even know it came out in theaters.
Right. I knew that it had gotten pushed back. You knew that it got pushed back, but you thought it wasn't until 2025. I thought it was like October, November. I didn't even know it was out. There was no commercials. There was no nothing for it. And I looked it up and it only made 12 point something million.
A low ass amount.
At the worldwide box office. Yeah. Not even just like United States. Yeah. Worldwide was like 12.8 or 12.9. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was pretty poopies.
Pretty poopies. But I think that's a lot to do with people shunning it because Brandon Lee. I think too many people are putting the cart before the horse.
Kind of like that nostalgia love kind of deal.
Yeah. They can't see beyond their nostalgia glasses.
And I get there. It's probably coming from they don't want to like discredit Brandon Lee and all that, but it's like, you got to give it a shot. They could have done it justice.
I mean, James O'Barr was actually, helping write the script to this one. And James O'Barr is the creator of The Crow. And he was helping to write it. It's a combination of 4 stories from the comics. So the people that don't know that, because they never conveyed it, they never said what this is.
Yeah.
And if they did, nobody paid attention to it because they didn't want to. They la 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 la. You know what I mean? So for all me and we could go into this movie kind of thinking the same thing. But I'm open to it. I'm open to the interpretation.
See, for me personally, like The Crow really isn't like that big to me because I wasn't old enough at the time to really be into The Crow. I wasn't at that point in my life where I was kind of interested in comic books and stuff like that. So I never had it with the comic and then the live action and all that.
Right.
So I'm looking at it as clear as day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm hoping I love it. Bill Skarsgård, dude, the fucking trailer had me hyped.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I really don't even know the whole thing of The Crow. So I'm not going to go in like, poo-poo.
Right.
I think it's going to do well. So I'm excited to do the episode.
And for me, you're talking to somebody for the longest time that The Crow was their second favorite movie of all time. Like, I'm talking like 20 some years of my life. The Crow was my second favorite movie of all time.
Why are we talking about that?
It only recently got bumped by another movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
That's my second favorite movie of all time now.
Which we discussed his top 5 in an episode of HardTube.
Yep. A couple episodes back now.
Yeah.
So I think that's really all we have for the news, right? I mean, other than we were kind of discussing earlier if the new combat pack came out featuring Ghostface, but we weren't 100% sure.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And then there was something else that.
Oh yeah, there is actually
the fighting game.
I believe it was the last episode of Horror Wars. I don't remember, but I brought up that
there's a horror fighting game.
Yeah, it'd be cool if there was a horror fighting game.
Yeah.
That had like just our iconic killers. And here there actually is one. And I forgot to look it up in the name, but I only remember because shout out to the YouTube channel Super. He plays all fighting games and he's super duper fucking good. Been watching this dude for like almost, I think, over a decade at this point. It's fucking wild. But he actually started to play them because of Ghostface announcement. And I don't remember the game, but
Terrordome or Terrordrome.
That's it. That is actually it.
Terrordrome Reign of the Legends.
Yep. And it actually has like models similar to old like Mortal Kombat style. Like really? PlayStation 1 era type shit.
Right.
So yeah, it's actually out there. And yeah. So shout out to all that. And it's pretty cool. So
okay.
Yep.
Hell yeah, definitely. Check this out because it looks cool as fuck. From what I'm looking at it. Like, yeah, definitely. Shit, that's dope. Okay, all right. So, I think that's all we have for news, right?
Yep, and that was it for the news.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
The war, the reason everyone's here. This is the main segment of our show. We put a horror film against its remake. We go stat for stat, financials, facts, where to watch, synopsis, cast, and everything in between. Afterwards, we grade them both on a scorecard, we tally up those results, and we see who wins the day.
Welcome to the war.
As with every episode, we're going to tell you where we get all of our glorious information from. We source pieces from Wikipedia, IMDb, Just Watch, and Rotten Tomatoes mainly. Sometimes we have to dig a little deeper, but we shout out where we get that info from when applicable.
Also, when we give the information where to watch these films, please keep in mind that they might not be available on those services by the time you may listen to the episode. So please set the Just Watch for all your viewing needs.
With that being said, let's break down how we go about scoring these movies to determine our winner. We go through the stats, the crew, the cast, the runtime, and everything in between to get our results. At the end, we discuss our reasoning for where we place points and why in a series of 11 categories. They are acting, directing, writing/plot, killer or killers, casting, soundtrack, gore/kills, pacing, time period, environment, and finally, the ending.
And as Lamont said in the intro of this segment, we tally up our individual scores, combine them, and the one with the highest score wins the day. After that, we send it off to all of you and let you vote on our poll on Instagram after every episode is posted. Now, with all of that out of the way, it's time for the war.
Hell yeah, brother.
Candles gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. Say, where are you go? To the war these people know. Oh, Lord, yeah.
and welcome to the war proper. Thank you, Ozzy, for whatever music I threw in right there, because
Man, it was great. Woo.
it was great.
What a
because
song.
As we record, I have no idea if there's anything in there about Mist or anything about anything. So if not, it might be War Pigs. Either way, thank you for mispronouncing your words in the song, or thank you for talking about Mist, whichever one goes in.
Thanks for helping us out, bud. Or if not, wow, what a throwback.
Mispronouncing, because I even mispronunciated.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
Doo-doo-doo.
Yep. The Ozzy effect. All right. So before we get into the war proper, you had mentioned something earlier in the episode.
Oh, yes. So it was kind of just like a fun thing to add if we wanted, whenever the mood strikes. With like the video game portion, Rob always titles what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of like, sometimes when we shit on a movie, we always have like a funny take on stuff. By the way, shout out to your Hitcher rant. Still love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the example I wanted to throw out with both of these movies, I'll just do one for now. The original, I would say you could also title it instead of The Fog is, hey, look, it's another episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah. Literally.
Something like that. So it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to title it in the script or anything. Or what
it could just be something that we think of.
But it doesn't even have to be every week. Just if like it randomly pops in your head and you want to throw it in there, why not? So
right. I got you.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds groovy, man. Because this is another episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
It literally, the OG is.
Because to me, I'm just going to say it now, fuck it. The remake is just, hey, they tried to make a romance novel into a horror movie.
The remake can suck my balls in Mr. Hell. In Hell, Mr. Garrett. What is up with me today? All right, let's get into it. Because I said the episode, something can suck my balls, Mr. Garrison. I don't know. I'm still kind of high. All right. So, the episode today that we're doing is The Fog versus The Fog, as you all already know. I'm taking the OG. Josh is taking the remake.
Woohoo.
Movie name, The Fog. Runtime, 1 hour, 29 minutes at the sweet spot. Release date, February 1st, 1980. Produced by Deborah Hill. Production company, surprise, Deborah Hill Productions. Box office, 1.1 million USD. Oh, no, that was the budget. Box office, 21.3 million USD.
Not bad.
So it caked up. Screenplay by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. Directed by John Carpenter. Cinematography by Dean Cundy. Yep, Cundy. Edited by Tommy Lee Wallace and Charles Bornstein. Music, surprisingly, by John Carpenter.
And a banger of a soundtrack.
Banger soundtrack, yeah. Some might even say wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where to watch? You can rent The Fog on Amazon Video, Apple TV, Google Play Movies, YouTube, Fandango at Home, which used to be Vudu, and the Microsoft Store online. Ratings, 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb. 75% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes.
86% on Just the What You Do. Plot. An unearthly fog rolls into a small coastal town exactly 100 years after a ship mysteriously sank in its waters. Yep, that's pretty much it.
That's about it.
Related media.
Ghost Pirates.
Yeah, Ghost Pirates. A novelization of the movie written by Dennis Etchison was published by Bantam Books in January of 1980. The novel clarifies the implication in the film that the six who must die were not random, but in fact descendants of the original six conspirators.
Which is what they used for the remake.
Yep. Trivia, 45 more on IMDb. Number 1, Adrienne Barbeau patterned her voice after Alison Steele, who was a female disc jockey from the 1960s who was known as the Nightbird.
Sounds like an actual comic book hero.
Yeah, it does. I think there is actually a comic book character called Nightbird. Number 2, although this was essentially a low-budget independent movie, John Carpenter chose to shoot the movie in anamorphic widescreen Panavision. This decision gave the movie a grander feel for the viewer, so it didn't seem like a low-budget horror movie. Number 3, after a rough cut of this movie appeared to be much too short for a theatrical release, about 80 minutes, John Carpenter subsequently added more scenes. Among these were the prologue with the elderly captain telling ghost stories to fascinated children by a campfire. Oh, I thought there was going to be more there. Number 4, jazz music was used for Stevie Wayne's radio station because the royalties were more affordable than royalties for rock music. And that really set it a bit different for me. I liked the jazz music in a made-for-TV horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I thought it was pretty cool. The lighthouse used is the Point Reyes Lighthouse in Marin County, California. There are over 300 steps leading down to the lighthouse. Number 6. The lead ghost, Blake, was played by makeup specialist Rob Bottin. When Bottin asked for the job, John Carpenter asked him to stand up. Bottin then expected Carpenter to say, "and get out." When Carpenter saw that Bottin was a very large man at 6'5", which was needed for the character Blake, he was hired. Number 7. Although this movie cost just over $1 million to make, Avco Embassy spent 3 times that amount on advertising and promotion. This included TV ads, radio ads, print ads, and the studio even installed fog machines at a cost of $350 each in the lobbies of selected cinemas where the movie was showing. Number 8. Actress Adrienne Barbeau and director John Carpenter were married at the time this movie was made and released. He wrote the role of Stevie Wayne for her specifically. Number 9. Father Malone's assistant at the movie's beginning, Bennett, was played by John Carpenter, but was uncredited. Carpenter felt he was so terrible in that role, he stopped acting in his movies except for the helicopter pilots and walk-ons. Number 10. In the Blu-ray commentary for the movie, John Carpenter noted that the deliberate wrecking of the Clipper ship and its subsequent plundering was based on an actual event, the wrecking of the Frolic, that took place in the 19th century near Goleta, California. And finally, the cast. Adrienne Barbeau as Stevie Wayne, Tom Atkins as Nick Castle, Jamie Lee Curtis as Elizabeth Soley.
Crazy to think 2 people from different Halloween movies were in the same movie.
Yep. Yeah. And being weird.
It's super fucking awkward.
Going out and fucking while everybody's dying. Hal Holbrook as Father Patrick Malone, Janet Leigh as Kathy Williams, Nancy Loomis as Sandy Fatal. And it's fucking great that there's a Loomis in the movie, an actual Loomis, which is another tie to Halloween.
Yep.
Ty Mitchell as Andy Wayne, Charles Cyphers as Dan O'Bannon, Dan the Weatherman, James Canning as Dick Baxter, John F. Goff as Al Williams, Dick Baxter, George Buck Flower as Tommy Wallace. Tommy Wallace, isn't that another character in fucking Halloween?
I think so.
Yeah, because isn't that who Jamie Lee Curtis gets with in like Halloween Ends?
I think so.
Huh. Jesus Christ. Regina Walden as Mrs. Cobritz, Darwin Jostin as Dr. Fibes, Rob Bottin as Blake, John Houseman as Mr. Machen, John Carpenter as Bennett Tramer, uncredited because he felt like he sucked.
I like how the one dude just doesn't even get a last name. It's just Blake.
It's just Blake. You're fucking Blake, bro.
And then we have the remake.
I'm sorry.
Surprise, surprise. The name's The Fog.
Ah.
With a runtime of 1 hour and 40 minutes. So not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Release date, October 14th, 2005. Produced by John Carpenter, David Foster, and Deborah Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Production companies. Oh boy, all of them. Columbia Pictures, Revolution Studios, Deborah Hill Productions, and David Foster Productions. The budget, $18 million USD, and at the box office, it made $46.2 million USD. It's not bad. Screenplay by Cooper Lane, directed by Rupert Wainwright, cinematography by Nathan Hope, edited by Dennis Verkler, music by Graham Revel. Where to watch? Currently, you're able to watch The Fog streaming on Tubi TV for free with ads. You can also rent or buy on Apple TV, Amazon Video, Google Play Movies, YouTube, Microsoft Store, AMC On Demand, and Fandango at home. Jesus, formerly known as Vudu. The ratings. Yeah, I understand these ones. A 3.7 out of 10 on IMDb. 4% on Rotten Tomatoes. Which is like, I remember last time it was like the new edition of the 4% ratings for a movie we've covered.
Yeah.
And 63% on Just Watch It Do. Just Watch. Plot. A thick mist full of vengeful spirits haunts a prosperous island town off the coast of Oregon. As its inhabitants try to learn their own town's dark secret in order to stop it. Even though really it's only one person doing that.
Yeah, like,
but I like it says. Like the whole town is doing it. It's one person.
Yeah, that's just one.
Related media, non-applicable.
Yeah, because fuck this movie.
Trivia, 8 more on IMDb. Number 1, though credited, Uh-huh. As producer, John Carpenter described his involvement thusly. I come in and say hello to everyone, go home.
Thusly.
Number 2. Selma Blair did almost all of her own stunts. For her underwear scene, she spent 12 hours in a water tank with only short surface breaks for 2 days straight. Jesus Christ. Putting herself through military training.
Yes.
Number 3. Fergie, vocalist Fergie of the Black Eyed Peas, was attached to play Stevie Wayne before a last-minute conflict prevented her contract from closing. That would have been a weird fucking change.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been. Because Fergie, I don't think she would have been good in that role.
She was in one of the Grindhouse movies, wasn't she?
She was in Planet Terror.
Yeah. Shout out to that movie.
Yeah.
Number 4. The film was greenlit by Revolution Studios before the script was written. Number 5. Tom Welling had 3 weeks left on Smallville, 2001, season 4, where he began shooting this film. Selma Blair often joked that the director kept 2 cameras running during his scenes, one for The Fog and one for Smallville. That's funny.
That's fucked up.
Number 6. When the remake was announced, rumors circulated the internet that Charisma Carpenter had been cast as Stevie Wayne. I'm assuming that's his daughter.
I don't know.
And Jessica Biel as Elizabeth. Later reports stated Carpenter was deemed too old for Stevie Wayne, and Biel simply did not want to do any more horror films. I can't say this word because of high. Similarly, Jesus, man, my brain just stopped, bro.
I fucked up at the end there too.
Oh my God. Reliable websites announced that Chris Isaac had signed on to play Nick Castle, which was completely untrue, as the character was rewritten to be in his mid-20s. That's a lot of work for just playing some characters.
Look, wait a minute, hold on. I'm glad that Nick Castle was remade to be in his 20s, because they definitely saw the oversight there of having like a 19-year-old and like a 50-some-year-old or 40
from the original.
So shout outs to them for making him more in line with age.
Yeah. Where was I at? Number 7. Before D. Ray Davis auditioned, actors considered for Brett Spooner included Wilmer Valderrama, Eric Christian Olsen, Kenan Thompson, John Cho, Dominic Monaghan, and John Heder.
That movie would have been different with every single fucking one of them.
It's also just, why do they have to add comedy in that, like, remakes? You notice that all remakes have some form of, like, a goofball character?
Yeah.
Number 8. Deborah Hill died 1 week before filming began.
Yep.
Oh. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Number 9. Tom Welling's character Nick Castle is named after Nick Castle, the actor who played the Shape in John Carpenter's Halloween 1978.
Mm-hmm.
And Rupert Wainwright's last directorial feature that's a theatrical film. As the critical and financial failure, this film led to his film directing career dying. Oh, that's fucking depressing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, not. Yeah, it's pretty fucking bad. I hate this fucking movie. Cast: Tom Welling as Nicholas Nick Castle, Maggie Grace as Elizabeth Williams, Selma Blair as Stevie Wayne, D. Ray Davis as Spooner, Kenneth Welsh as Mayor Tom Malone, Adrian Ho, as Father Robert Malone, Sarah Botsford as Kathy Williams, Cole Heppel as Andy Wayne, Mary Black as Auntie Connie, Jonathan Young as Dan the Weatherman, R. Nelson Brown as Machen, Christian Bosher as Founding Father Malone, Douglas H. Arthurs as Founding Father Williams, Yves Cameron as Founding Father Wayne, Charles Andre as Founding Father Castle. Oh, this name, what is this? Raid Serbedzija.
Yep. You did as good as I would do. Sir Bed Godzilla.
Yep, as Captain Blake.
Yep. Oh, now he's Captain Blake.
Yeah.
At least he's got a captain in front of it.
A title now.
Yeah.
Matthew Curry Holmes as Sean Castle. Sonja Bennett as Mandy. Didn't get a last name.
Nope.
Megan Heffern as Brandy/Jennifer. Alex Bruhansky as Uncle Hank Castle, and Dan Shea and Rick Pierce as Fisherman. Also, completely forgot of the oversight. Yeah, for Jamie Lee Curtis's character and that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah. At least now they, like I said,
age appropriate.
Yeah, they fixed it.
Didn't even realize that shit. Didn't even pop in my head.
Yep. So, Josh had a very good idea. He rewatched the movies. I refreshed myself on the movies. I've already seen these movies a few times.
And we had previously watched
and
for
we
the other
previously
recording.
watched them for the original recording of 68. So he wanted to not look back on our old scores. So I honored that. And what we're going to do is at the end of the episode, when we record the end, we're going to go back and look at the old scores from when we first recorded 68 back in July to now when we're recording 68 in September. So with that being said, acting, who are you going to give it to?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to give it to the original because I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I felt like everyone was just bored.
Yeah.
Like no emotion from like anyone at all.
I felt like it was an MTV movie.
Like, yeah.
The remake was an MTV Studios movie.
The remake, even the dude from Smallville who was like at the peak of his career, I felt like he was like, yeah, I just need an extra paycheck.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yep. They were phoning it in like a motherfucker in that movie.
Like it was pretty bad. With the original, at least, like it's got some high quality actors, but it's like, it just, for, a cheesy 80s flick, right? It was 80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just,
I think the writing failed the actors in the OG.
Okay.
But I still think the writing was better than the remake's writing. Like, I don't think John Carpenter put his whole ass into writing this movie.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean? Because he had a good concept. Yeah. He even had to go back and refilm stuff because it wasn't bloody enough. Right. It wasn't horror enough. Right. He felt it was too boring and shit. Right. So I think he knew he had a concept of what he wanted to do, but he didn't execute it right.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that the directing for me is worse than the remake.
Did you also give the acting to original?
Yeah, I gave the acting to the original as well. I mean, we're kind of talking about three things right now. We were talking about acting, directing, and writing / plot. So I kind of lumped them all together. But so what would you pick for directing, original or remake? Because I'm going with original, like I just said.
I'm gonna go with original. It's just because, like, just how we got through it all. Like, we actually there was direction to it. Because with the remake, it just became, let's watch someone in the library or on the computer research and find out what's going on as random people go. At least the direction for this, it kind of meshed better from getting to the backstory, even though it was an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. Kind of getting more into the actual reason why the ghosts are here.
Yeah.
When just with the remake, it was just.
I liked in the OG how everybody had their own story going on, but kind of converged at one point towards the end.
It was like a book. You're reading different chapters.
You're reading different chapters and different people's adventures, even though Jamie Lee Curtis and the other guy's adventure was just fucking in random spots.
Yeah, really weird.
Yeah, that was their whole arc. And then they didn't even do anything significant in the end. Like, it was just, all right, well.
I guess they're going to go fuck again.
Yep. So I guess that would bring us to writing now, because I already said I picked OG director, you picked OG director, you picked OG actor, I picked OG actor. So writing / plot.
Again, I'm gonna give it to the original. Just for the remake, just again, the plot of it being like the descendants attacking, or the original crew of the ship attacking descendants. That's too cheesy to me. I hate that plot point.
Right.
It just feels too fucking cliche, even by this point. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to the original. It just feels like a ghost story, like you're hearing a ghost story with different chapters and the meshing arcs of everyone. It was nice. It was a good structured plot.
Yeah, and like I just said a little bit ago, when I lumped everything together, I'm going with the OG as well for writing, because the writing in the remake was far more subpar than the writing in the OG, even though the writing in the OG wasn't all that great to begin with.
Right.
So I'm still going to give it to the original.
I feel like the original, it was simple for what it was for a plot and all that, but it's so much better than this was another definition of just a shitty remake. It's all the same shit, darker tones, a comedy aspect, bad practical, not even practical and CGI, bro.
And that's what Carpenter was going with for the OG one. He wanted to do a simple story. he wanted to do another Halloween type simple story, ghost
Right.
story. And that's why I said he struggled with what he wanted to do with this one, because the simple ghost story wasn't good enough in the end, and he went and refilmed this and redid that and added more minutes and made blood happen and all that, but he still wasn't happy with it. And then even with the remake, like you said, he was so disconnected from it.
Right.
All he did was fucking go in there and say hi and leave.
Hey, you got a paycheck though, fuck it.
Right.
But and I just want to say again real quick, it's just I appreciate that he was like, no, I don't want to just make slasher movies. He wanted to do something a little different. So hey, I can appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%. That brings us to the killers.
Oh my god, original. Jesus,
original,
dude. The fucking 100%. CGI ghost.
Fucking ass cheeks.
I want to go back to the acting for the remake. When one of the ghosts is trying to attack the mayor. The mayor's just like rolling and doing backflips and shit. It's so bad.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's fucking horrible. I feel like this one's not even going to be a no-brainer. It simply is casting. I'm going with OG.
OG, man, the classic actors. Even though I know that the other actors were popular. You know what I mean? But nah, I'm gonna give it to the original. That's some star power for the horror genre.
Yeah, I'm reading over all these actors, and none of them to me even tops Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
They're all MTV actors. They're all sorry, I like them, but not in this movie. This remake was.
They definitely didn't try for the remake.
No. Soundtrack.
The original, bro.
Yep.
I mean, it's the most. When did the remake come out? I already forget.
2010 or something shit,
like
2009. Yeah, somewhere around there.
It definitely fits its decade it came out in, bro, because it is super cliche horror film.
2005 actually.
Oh yeah. Ew. Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking bad. So gore/kills.
I'm giving that to the original, dude. The telekinetic fucking knife going into the dude's forehead in the remake. Nah, man. At least like the original had some fucking good practical effects.
No, I know. I'm giving it to the OG as well. Pacing.
The original.
Yep.
Because let me tell you, another title could be for the remake. Flashbacks, the movie. Because how many times did we have to re-see the fucking ship incident play over and over? This lady has gone to the library on her computer, on her phone, something, looking up shit about these fucking ghosts. Apparently, it's just wide knowledge around the world.
Yeah. But yet nobody's doing anything about it. To me, it felt like how you talked about seeing that scene over and over again. That felt like to me when I tried to read the first Twilight book. And in the first 40 pages, all she did was describe the big red clunky broken down truck over and over and over again. And that's when I was like, you know what, fam, this shit ain't for me. And close the book and put it away. That's the same type of vibe that the remake gives me. I don't need to see this shit 9,000 fucking times throughout the movie, bro. Just fucking get on with it. Time period.
It fits more for when the movie came out for the original. I'm giving it to the original.
Yeah.
Ghost stories, man. By 2005, they probably felt super over.
You done told every ghost story there is to tell in American ghost stories, and they don't tend to do ghost stories very well.
Yeah, it's kind of all the same
Activity
thing.
was good. Conjuring was what really kind of changed the dime of ghost stories in America. But environment, I'm personally giving it to the 1981 because the lighthouse, everything, the coast of Maine.
I was gonna say they're right on the water. And the other one, it just felt just weird. And they changed it. If I remember correctly, where it's located, it just. Meh.
So you're giving it to OG as well. The end of the movie.
Here we go. I remember being mad last time, and I'm just as mad.
Go ahead.
I'm going to give a negative point to the remake because, to me, it is the most dog shit version of what a romance novel would have ended with if they wanted to make it horror. Are you kidding me? The girlfriend of the main dude is a descendant of like 4 different people, or somehow connected to 4 different fucking people. The main villain, or the ghost guys, one of the dudes, the main guy, forget his name, just walks up to her, again, kisses her, and instead of it being like he takes her soul, like she was the final descendant, which would have been a little bit fucking better, he just somehow kisses her, turns her into her ancestor.
Yes, turned her into her ancestor.
Like somehow just completely just didn't disintegrate nothing. Literally turned into the ghost version somehow of her ancestor, turned back to her boyfriend, smiled, and then they just disappeared. This dude shows no emotion, didn't give a fuck.
He just literally walked away.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, that's cool, and then goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
I couldn't even fucking tell you, dude. The ending to the remake was the most dog shit. But for me, I will not give a -1 because I still feel like the ending of the original Fog still had a couple good qualities to it. Now, the OG Fog's ending wasn't that great. It wasn't.
I liked it, but I hated I hated the remake ending so much.
It supersedes
it went over the ending for the Fog. But no, I agree. It was fine. But to me, it was just kind of that, like, be prepared for it to come back or some shit like that.
It could. Yeah. You don't know.
Are they making a sequel? Are they making a sequel?
Yeah.
But it's way better than the remake. But the remake to me is so fucking bad. I have to give it that negative point.
That's fine. That's fair. So, with that being said,
oh god,
the score is 21 to -1. Yep.
Shout out to Godzilla.
Shout out to Godzilla. Hell yeah.
The remake was absolute trash.
Yeah, and this speaks to it, I think, because
the crazy thing is that fucking cast, man. Even for the 2005 one.
No, we're good.
Oh, even for the 2005 one, like it had some big actors, especially at that time. But it's just no one cared, bro.
No, absolutely nobody cared.
It was
a non-issue movie.
Bad.
Yeah. Anything else?
No. Fuck the remake.
Nah.
Pass.
I think our scores might have changed, but I'm not sure. I can't wait to get to the end to see exactly what changed.
I don't remember being so one-sided last time.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, the remake fucking sucks.
Yeah, and the remake now has gotten a -1. I think the remake before at least had a 2 or a 4 or something. I don't know. We'll find out at the end of the episode. Anything else for it? All right.
Horror Club. Each episode, we pick a film that complements the war. We then review it under a series of categories and ultimately tell you whether we think you should pass, rent, or buy.
Well, yeah. Nice to see you. We think it's time for you to sit back, relax, hang out, smoke something, and vibe. It's time for Horror Club, our movie review done book club style. Let's review how this works. Much like with the war, we have a series of talking points that include acting, gore, /kills, directing, pacing, writing /plot, killer or killers, cast, and soundtrack.
Those categories, oh my goodness. Excuse me.
Low voice.
If those categories sound familiar, it's because they are. We basically use a lot of the same thing we do from the war because we find them to be the simplest and best way to come to our conclusions.
With that said, let's talk about it. Do we want to do how we normally do? I'll take the first 2 parts.
Yeah, sure.
You take the starring and the film fact.
And today we're talking about one of my favorite downer ending movies of all time. Top 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
All right. So, the movie's name is The Mist.
Ooh.
And as we just discussed before this, that is not actually a mist. It is a fog.
It is definitely more foggish.
It is definitely more of a fog. So I guess they just couldn't call it the fog because of the fog.
Yeah, because it didn't want to be another remake or associated with those two.
Yes. Release date November 21st, 2007. Runtime 2 hours and 6 minutes. Long in the tooth, but doesn't really feel like it.
It's pretty good.
Yep. Budget 18 million USD. Box office 57.3 million USD.
Pretty damn good.
If they made a sequel, it would probably be just all about like his psychological traumas.
Oh my god, dude, that would be a good movie though.
And like he would only see monsters.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, Sorry, I just thought about that real
Stephen
quick.
King.
Right? Production company Dark Woods Productions, produced by Frank Darabont, Martin Schaefer, and Liz Glotzer.
What a cool ass last name.
Glotzer. Screenplay by Frank Darabont, directed by Frank Darabont, Darabonted by Frank Darabont.
I was thinking the same thing.
Edited by Frank Darabont. No, I'm kidding. Cinematography by Ron Schmidt. Ron or Roan? 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 R-O-H-N?
Ron, I think.
Ron Schmidt. That's a baseball name if I ever fucking heard it. Edited by Hunter Hurst Helmsley. Hunter
Triple H.
Hunter Mvia. Music by Mark Isham.
I think this dude has been in
He's done a couple
movie.
a couple movies that we've done, yeah. Plot: a freak storm unleashes a species of bloodthirsty creatures on a small town where a small band of citizens hold up in a supermarket and fight for their motherfucking lives.
Oh, yeah. Starring.
Oh, boy.
Thomas Jane as David Drayton. Marcia Gay Harden as Miss Kermode. Laurie Holden as Amanda Dunphy. Andre Brauger, cool name.
Very cool name.
As Brent Norton. Toby Jones as Ollie Weeks. William Sadler as Jim Grondin. Jeffrey DeMunn as Dan Miller. I almost said Jeffrey Dahmer.
Mm-hmm.
Frances Sternhagen as Irene Repler. Sam Witwer as Private Wayne Jessup. Alexa Davalos as Sally. Nathan Gamble as Billy Drayton. Chris Owen as Norm, a bag boy.
Ooh.
Robert Treviller? It almost is spelled like Traveler.
I would just say Traveler.
As Bud Brown. David Jensen. David Jensen as Mirren LaFleur. Melissa McBride as an unnamed woman.
Ooh, best character in the movie.
Andy Stahl as Mike Hatlin. Buck Taylor as Ambrose Cornell. Juan Gabriel Paraja as Morales. Walter Fauntleroy.
Fauntleroy.
Walter
Fauntleroy.
As Donaldson. Perfect. Brandon O'Dell as Bobby Eagleton. Cool name.
Eagleton. Hell yeah, man.
Jackson Hurst as Joe Eagleton.
Yeah.
Susan Watkins. As Hattie Turman. Matthew Greer as Silas.
I think that is, yes.
Yep, don't remember. Kelly Collins Lintz as Stephanie Drayton. Jesus Christ, this cast is so long.
That's why I said I'm sorry, yeah.
Ron Clinton Smith as Mr. Mackey.
Guns are bad.
Amin Joseph as a military police officer.
Ooh.
Second best character.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Brian Libby as biker.
Ooh.
Greg Brazel as Tom Smalley.
Greg Brazzers.
I was thinking the same fucking thing, dude. Guinea Randall as Tess. Tiffany Morgan as Denise. And Sonny Franks as Man with Car.
Ooh.
Fourth best, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Man with Car. That sounds like fucking Who Poop Last. Who Poop Last? Do you remember that fucking? Never mind. Go ahead.
Must read film fact. One of my faves. Stephen King got the idea for the source novel when he was in a Maine market. When he noticed the front window was made of a glass plate, he wondered what would happen if giant insects flew into it. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness he went to that supermarket.
Yeah.
This is probably one of my favorite films of all time.
Yeah. So the acting.
I don't remember the actress's name. The one who was more on like the religious side and was giving like the speeches.
I think that was Marcia Gay Harden's character, if I'm not mistaken.
Played the part so fucking well. Almost to the point of being like a cult leader. Because to see her almost turn half of the people in the supermarket against each other is fucking wild.
Yeah.
Even her demise was so fucking just
yeah.
Because it's like, oh my God, lady, you are fucking nuts.
Yeah.
The whole cast. By the way, holy Walking Dead.
Because
I think like 4 or 5 people are in The Walking Dead.
Yep.
One of the dudes was in Capote, acting. Top tier stuff from these folks. Yeah. Amazing stuff.
Absolutely.
The fear, the fucking ending, the acting on that alone.
Oh yeah.
God tier.
Yeah. So do we really need to do the proper list here standard, because we don't the gore kills, I mean, are great. From what we see,
the CGI, the killer,
the CGI insect creatures, the Lovecraftian creatures.
Soup.
Yeah,
we can just gush.
Yeah, like I mean, there's really the soundtrack, the casting, everything is just kind of like, what are we going to talk negative about with this movie? Realistically,
even the plot. The only part that is just a little cliche, I guess, is like the spider tunnel area where it's like kind of ripping off Alien a little bit, but still, spiders are fucking terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, so I mean, all around, it's like it's fucking great stuff.
I was gonna say the only thing that I have an issue with on it is the pacing, but I get that they needed to cram a lot of people, a lot of a story, character, all that. I think they could have left a couple things out, though.
I honestly feel like the cast is too big for a horror film,
especially for 2 hours.
And that's always been my complaint. And in the archives, I remember complaining about this. I get kind of tired of like giant groups in horror because it kind of takes away the horror aspect. Right. And there's a lot. You heard the fucking cast list. There's there's a lot. I'm thinking at least 30 some people.
Yeah. But in order for that cast to happen, you need to have a 2 hour movie.
Oh my god, yeah, because you have to get everyone's backstory. Yeah. So that's kind of where that long runtime.
And that to me is the pacing problem. If you cut a couple people out that didn't really need to be there,
right?
Yeah, we could have lived with that. I don't think it would have taken too much away from the movie. If we would have maybe be able to shave it down by about 20 minutes and take care of some of that like exposition and the build up.
I think when they added in the military faction, when it went from kind of like the crazy cult side and then the people who wanted to survive more, then you threw in like, oh, well, now the government's involved and they opened a portal. So there are some problems with this, but as a horror film together, I fucking love it. And I just want to talk about the ending. Everyone knows, super downer ending. This dude kills his own son, his friends, pretty much, the old couple. All this basically made he took it upon himself. They had a gun with only 5 bullets left. There were 6 of them in the car. He decided, I'll wait to be ripped apart by these creatures. I'm just going to make sure you don't have to suffer. Kills him, gets out of the car, waits for his demise. That scream after those gunshots, fucking top tier.
Yeah.
Fucking, he gets out of the car and is like, come on! He hears the rumbling. Here it's the military fighting back these creatures. You as a father, could you imagine if you were in that scenario and that shit happened?
No, absolutely not. I think you might have asked me that the last time we recorded this.
Yeah.
I can't.
Like,
I would kill myself. Literally. And I'm not saying that to be facetious. I'm not saying that like, ha. No, if I killed my kids trying to spare them from a horrible thing, and then 2 seconds later, it didn't matter.
Like,
brother, I'm gone. There's no therapy in the fucking world that could bring me back from that. And that's why I said the second movie, if they ever did one, would just be him literally losing his mental in a fucking institution. But you would think it's reality because of, the traumas that he had and shit. Like, yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I would never recover from that. And that is a heavy ass ending. And that is honestly, I think that is the first movie of horror that I saw that had a downer ending. And that's what made me enjoy them a little more, is because I kind of felt like, how many horror films have we seen where the ending is them sitting on the back of an ambulance? Yeah.
And then that's the end.
Smoking a cigarette or something.
Right. And it's just like, it finally broke that trope for me personally, because again, I didn't watch that many horror films. So for me, it was kind of the first.
Right.
That's why I like kind of downer endings a little bit, because it's like, it's not always going to be the sunshine type of ending.
It's not. You're not always going to have a final girl.
Right.
You're not always going to kill the killer.
Right.
You're not always going to do the hero thing.
Like they're triumphant in the end.
Right. That's not going to happen. When you're dealing with otherworldly beings, you're going to fucking lose. 9 times out of 10.
It's fucking crazy. It's such a good movie.
It is. It's a fantastic movie. My infamous buy if it's $5. But if you haven't seen this, I'm sure it's available on Max or fucking Prime or one of the 77,000 fucking streaming services we have. And I'm sure that if it's not $5 somewhere, it's like $6 or $7, but that's still good to me to buy. I would say buy this movie.
I would too. I'd say any price. It does not matter. Buy.
Yeah.
But at least see it once in your life. My typical. See it at least once in your lifetime, please.
Yep. All right. Do you got anything else to add to that? Like, are we good on this or?
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
The List of Doom. Each episode, we pick a theme to go along with the rest of the show. It's a top 5 list of movies, characters, events, music, or anything in between.
You know what? You just made the list. Oh, no.
Oh, here we go.
And welcome to the List of Doom.
Yeah. This one is fucking hard, though.
Some challenging ones these past couple episodes, my friend.
Yeah.
Why?
Because fuck us, I guess. So the List of Doom for this one is top 5 fog or mist-based characters.
Whew. Slim pickings.
Yeah. And we kind of bent the
oh my gosh,
the needle a little bit on what one could define as fog or mist, because smoke is also used, but you can get a fog out of smoke.
Yep.
Ask all the wildfires. That's like a fog cloud. So
you right.
So with that being said, as usual, we don't hate what the fuck is his name? Chills. Yeah, we don't hate Chills, but we do hate the voice that he does. So
we do it.
So we do it because why not? So Josh, what's your number 5?
So my number 5. Okay, bear with me here. Kind of sticking with the pirate theme, we have Davy Jones' crew from the Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest.
Yeah.
You know, even though they come up out of the water, they still keep the mist around them and keep it all spooky and stuff. So, sure.
Yeah. My number 5 is Nightcrawler from X-Men.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. See, I forgot. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Nightcrawler, even though he's smoke-based technically because he poofs and bamfs.
He needs some love in the Marvel franchise.
He does in this new dichotomy. Yeah, he needs some fucking love. What's your number 4?
It's a bit of a stretch. I had to go the anime route here. It's the Mist Hashira from Demon Slayer. Its visuals are mist. Just mist type attacks. So that's kind of the first one that came to my mind.
There you go. My number 4 is Smoke from Mortal Kombat.
Top 3 favorite Mortal Kombat characters for myself. So yeah.
Nope. I mean, he poofs and he goes bye-bye.
Yeah.
That's smoke and mist based. That's ninjas type shit. So
I prefer the Cyber Lin Kuei version of him, but altogether, Smoke, fantastic character. Very nice.
Thank you, sir. What's your number 3?
So my number 3 is actually one of my favorites. It's from the Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, all that, from Sekiro. It is the Corrupted Monk.
Okay.
Who, in that boss fight on the bridge, uses mist to teleport around and attack you. So,
Nope. My number 3 also uses mist to teleport around sometimes and to go in a different area, and that is Raziel from Legacy of Kain.
Shout out to Soul Reaper.
Yes, sir.
Give us more, please.
Yes.
Awesome.
Especially that new fucking graphic novel that's coming out with all the things. Did you see all the fucking tiers? No, there's more.
Are you for
There's like replica masks. There's the fucking sword itself, but it's like $700 fucking dollars.
You'll have to show me later.
Yeah, it's a lot, but they have a 4-foot replica of
the Soul Reaper itself. Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah. It's like I said, like $700 though. But it comes with the book, the record, this, that, and everything in fucking between.
Shit.
Yeah. Yep. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Rain from the Mortal Kombat franchise.
Yeah, it is.
Water Ninja.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Rain.
Yeah,
because Prince. That's
he's
what
purple.
He's purple.
His name's Rain.
Purple Rain. Yeah. My number 2 is Alucard from Helsing.
Vampire, very nice. An excellent anime, by the way. Helsing and all that.
Helsing, yeah, absolutely. And that's what he does in the anime. He mists and moves and blood and all that. Like, yeah.
Bloody Mist.
Bloody Mist, yeah. What's your, or who's your number one?
My number one is from one of your most hated franchises that I love, is Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yep, I know.
And she actually uses mist and water and all that kind of stuff.
Do you remember what my number one is? Like, honestly, honest to goodness, do you remember who my number one is? Because I read this again and I was like, God damn me and my jokey ways.
Nope.
My number one is Batman.
He does have smoke balls.
Yes, but he also can, like, he's got suits that makes him do that type of shit, like get smoke and mist and all that stuff. Like, I mean, it's not uncommon for him to just have a suit for every occasion.
Fair enough.
Batman.
Fucking Batman.
Fucking Batman. He's prepared for everything.
Cue the Batman theme.
Which one?
The one from the
animated series?
The one with Kevin Conroy?
Yeah. So the one from the 89.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right.
This list was one we've already done, so it's kind of hard to be like,
Yeah, I know. And then it's also like, it was
very,
difficult.
very hard.
It was difficult to begin with, and then trying to figure out to do it again. Nah, fuck that, dude.
Yep.
Nah. All right. Anything else for this one? No.
The list was kind of weak, but I still love it.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like smiling.
Horrors of gaming. Each episode, we pick a theme to go along with the rest of the show. It can be a list dissection or a game that stands out for us to discuss.
Welcome to the Horrors of Gaming, the gaming portion of the show.
And with this episode, one of my favorite game franchises.
Yes.
Like, hands down.
It's not Silent Hill 2.
It's not Silent Hill 2, but we've got an episode prepared for Silent Hill 2. There's the episode for Silent Hill 2 is a bit of an inversion, but we'll get to that when the remake of Silent Hill 2 comes out and when Return to Silent Hill comes out, the movie. Yeah, but that's a little hint for the future. It's motherfucking Silent Hill, baby.
That's right. We discussed my favorite Resident Evil plenty of times. It's time for some Silent Hill.
Yeah, the only one that I think that we've discussed in the show proper has been Silent Hill 4, like we said earlier.
But we don't talk about that.
And I also don't remember what episode that was. I
really don't, dude.
Maybe it was a Jacob's Ladder episode.
It might be. I don't know.
Sounds about right, but I don't know.
Oh, I think, was it Wreck?
Maybe.
Maybe
it was Wreck
because apartments.
Because apartments. Yeah, maybe.
I think.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's how much we gave a shit about it.
Yeah. No, for real.
I know we talked about it, but don't remember when.
Don't remember what. Okay. Sorry. So all I did for the name of this one, as Josh said earlier, I named, the Horrors of Gaming. All I put on this one was, oh, hell yes.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
Oh, hell yeah, brother. Shout out to my fantasy football team name and my phrase that I say all the time.
Shout outs.
The game is Silent Hill. Initial release date was February 24th, 1999. Completion time, 7 to 14 hours, depending on your dedication to the game. According to howlongtobeat.com. Platform, PlayStation. Developer, Team Silent. Engine was modified Tomb Raider engine. And the genre is survival horror.
One that's finally horror genre.
A little bit about Silent Hill. It's a horror anthology media franchise centered on a series of survival horror games created by Keiichiro Toyama and published by Konami. The first 4 mainline video games in the series, Silent Hill, Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3, and Silent Hill 4 The Room, were developed by an internal group called Team Silent, a developmental staff within the former Konami subsidiary, Konami Computer Entertainment Tokyo. Team Silent, I feel so bad for how they ended with Silent Hill 4 The Room because they were under so much pressure to make a good game and they did not. And Konami was like, nah, go fuck yourself.
And you can see the drastic change from 3 to 4, like how just the quality
Yeah.
And you can't blame them
because it was like 2 years, not even a year turnaround or some shit like that. They took a lot of elements from Silent Hill 3 and just put it in Silent Hill 4. Like, I don't know, but we're not talking about those right now. We're talking about Silent Hill.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about the one that started it all 25 years ago.
Yep.
Silent Hill, 25th anniversary for the fucking franchise.
Story of a father trying to find his daughter lost in this crazy ass town.
Yeah. It was made into the movie, which took Harry and made him the mom.
Mm-hmm.
And then the movie made Rhoda Mitchell, which I don't remember her name in the movie, into Harry. That is probably one of the best video game movies that has come out, regardless of gender change and parental change.
Right.
The movie worked fucking wonderfully.
It would work either way.
Yeah,
you know,
it would. And that was proven with the second Silent Hill movie, how everything still flowed just as well. And that was Silent Hill 3. So for those that don't know, Harry goes into the town of Silent Hill. Well, he doesn't even realize he's going into Silent Hill.
Yep.
And he ends up going there, and his daughter essentially gets kidnapped from the fucking car.
Mm-hmm.
And he wakes up and he basically gets put through hell trying to find his daughter. So as that's happening, the world around him is going absolutely insane. And it's going from a normal fog heavy world to this siren going off, and it just turns to ash. And then, everything.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, and everything just flips on its head and becomes this like monstrous version of the town, and you don't understand why until kind of later on, where it preys on your psyche.
Yeah,
and that's where you don't realize what it is until it's too late.
Right.
You know, but that town has an occult history. It has Salem witch trial kind of history to it. And they believe that Alyssa, the daughter of the cult leader, was basically Satan reincarnate. And you know, they this is okay, so I have absolutely no idea where the fuck we left off at, because there was 9,000 things just happening in the background.
Hey, it wouldn't be Horror Wars if there wasn't some kind of distraction.
Right. Dude, we made it so fucking far in the episode too. And it sounded, it was because we're always fearful that the war is going to be the part where fucking Tasmanian devils just start running through that. Right. But with the new software that we have with Zoom and everything, you guys don't hear anything that's going on in the background, and if you do, it's very very
so
low.
Much going on.
But there was like hand gestures and people walking and fucking oodles and noodles being made, and it was insane.
Everyone breakdance fighting,
breakdance fighting, you know. But basically, what I think I was getting at is I really love the concept of Silent Hill because it is a psychological terror, and especially the first game is horrifying as a father. Like,
right,
because you're going through this fucking town that's going through basically its monthly cycle every fucking hour and a half, and you just don't know what the hell's going on. You got things trying to molest you, and things trying to kill you, and things just shaking at you and oozing liquids that could potentially burn you. Like nurses that are all fucking faceless, and they're like the creatures in Doctor Who. The angels. If you look at them, they don't really move, but you gotta like really be fucking quiet and shit. Like the town itself is utterly fucking horrifying.
One of my favorite things about the Silent Hill franchise is just like, especially in the first one, you go from like what would be a normal looking town to where you go through a door and you're in like a rusty ass like industrial type place. And one of the coolest things is that the game almost makes you die in the first like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, what the fuck? I don't have any weapons or anything. These little like goblin dudes stab him to death, and he wakes up in a fucking restaurant, and then there's a random cop woman who happens to know where your daughter is. And you're like, well, where is she? I'll tell you later. Walks off. Has to go solve the mystery of this town.
Right. Even though she knows where your fucking daughter is.
The plot twists and turns. The way you interact with her changes how her clothing is, the police officer.
Yeah.
all that kind of shit. The metaphors, the fucking, again, like Rob said, with the traumas. Silent Hill's favorite thing is to kind of poke at traumas.
Yeah.
Every metaphor is something from, is it Harry or Henry? Because similar names for Silent Hill 4 and 1.
I think Harry.
Harry, yeah.
Harry.
Yeah, Henry is 4.
Henry Townsend, I think.
Is Silent Hill 4.
Yeah, because James Sunderland is 3.
2.
Or 2, yeah. James Sunderland's 2.
Yeah.
Heather Mason is 3 because Harry Mason, Heather Mason, and then Henry Townsend is 4. Yeah.
It's just, it was a cool way to kind of have like 2 different enemies, because you had like the cult kind of religious preacher woman who, spoilers, turned out to be the main villain one, to reincarnate her daughter
Alyssa
through his daughter.
Right. Which is where I think we left off at.
Yeah. So there's all these different kind of like plot points, because it even tackles, Harry, Jesus, go through all his kind of stuff, and it goes through his wife and all that other kind. It's fucking crazy. And the fucking ending is, because spoilers again, you find out he's dead. Yep. He's been dead the whole time. He's dead in his car. The crash you experienced at the beginning, he died.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what, but I love Silent Hill. That's multiple endings. Of course, you have the aliens involved.
Mm-hmm.
You can have so many good endings, bad endings. It's fucking wild. But the true ending is that he is dead. But
wait a minute. So if the true ending is that he's dead, then how did they do Silent Hill 3?
I don't know.
Then I don't think that would be the true ending.
It's probably like Resident Evil,
where it got tacked on.
Right.
So
no, I mean that's really it. It's weird.
Yeah, but you know what? It's weird that we fucking love, and I can't wait until this remake comes out of Silent Hill 2 next month. The pre-order has been in, ready to go. I wanted the deluxe edition, like the digital deluxe edition
for 2. Yeah,
but it was like $100 and some, and I was like, that's too rich for my blood.
Did it come with a pyramid head?
No, it doesn't come. It's digital. It comes with a digital art book, a digital soundtrack, a couple other things like that. There's no actual physical collector's edition for this game, which is sad.
Yeah.
Especially considering they really could have done a fucking pyramid head, or they could have done something. But no.
Or nurse.
It's probably because they're waiting to see how this game gains traction. Yeah. And then they're going to release something for like $200 fucking down the line.
100%.
A pyramid head, or James fighting pyramid head, something that we could have had with a collector's edition, but fuck that.
I also want to point out real quick with the original Silent Hill, you can see it with the Tomb Raider engine, and I'll say it almost had a little bit of, it didn't have the stationary camera from Resident Evil.
No.
It had kind of like that beginning of like that almost boxy camera control.
Yeah, that boxy camera
the movement was definitely an improved Tomb Raider system, because you didn't have to like stop where you were standing to turn left and right. Your character actually had more free motion. So you can see too, Silent Hill was actually taking horror games out of that tank control that Resident Evil had. And I love that. I definitely didn't appreciate Silent Hill growing up as much, because I was on that Resident Evil. Yeah.
I know.
But after kind of re-looking into this, having played Silent Hill 2, because that's the only one I've actually fully played through, I appreciate Silent Hill a lot more. And I really hate the fact that PT, shout outs to Hardtube, we talked about that, that got cut show so short. Oh my God, I couldn't talk. I do love the fact, though, that Silent Hill is coming back to the forefront with Silent Hill 2, which is arguably the biggest of that franchise.
And then we've also got like 6 Silent Hill games being made right now in various platforms, various ways, various things.
A bunch of animated movies coming out.
It's a very good time to be a Silent Hill fan. And that's why, like, Silent Hill is another fucking thing for me this year that I just feel vindicated and justified on. Because another one of those things that I got shit on for liking is Silent Hill, because Resident Evil was the cool thing. How do you like Silent Hill? Nothing really fucking happens. Blah, 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 blah. Play Silent Hill.
And I think I know again why. I wasn't in the camp of that.
No. I'm not saying you. Yeah, no. I don't want you to think that I was saying. Yeah.
I'm just going from like
when I was younger. I'm talking about like, again, this is the same Deadpool, the same scenario that I have, like Godzilla, all that shit, all the things that I fucking love are becoming popular in 2024. That's what I'm trying to. But anyway,
I just wanted to say, I was just throwing out my thing for it was just like, I don't think I understood, because I was younger at that time for Silent Hill being out already, that I didn't understand that it was about traumas and like how there was a little bit more to it. And I never thought of Silent Hill as like a ripoff of Resident Evil, because in my opinion, now Silent Hill feels more horror than Resident Evil to me.
Yeah.
Not because of them taking that action change, even going back to when I was terrified of Resident Evil 1.
Yeah.
I feel Silent Hill's more horror.
Yeah. Because
So,
you have to think.
Yeah.
Because with Resident Evil, it's more run and gun to zombies.
Yeah.
And simple fucking puzzles.
And I even said it's more of a puzzle game with zombies involved than the OGs.
Yeah.
Now they're more action oriented,
Yeah.
horror, like
Yeah.
Resident Evil 7 and Village are more horror esque. But I think in the horror genre, Silent Hill is actually a little bit better on that side.
Yeah. Just a little bit better.
A little bit better.
A little bit better. So, when it comes to Silent Hill, if people can find it,
Hell yeah, play it.
and it's not $250 fucking dollars, please play it, because the OG Silent Hill is a very hard to get game.
Mm-hmm. Unless you want to pay out the ass. for it.
Even the greatest hits version with the green
Mhm.
thing on it, hard to get. Lucky for me,
Throwback.
I've got 2 copies in storage, and one is the OG Silent Hill, and
Oh,
one is the
shit.
green greatest hits one.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Dude. So I'm never gonna give them up, never gonna let them down, never gonna run around and hurt them.
Is that a Rick Astley thing?
Yeah, I just rickrolled everybody.
Never
listening.
gonna give you up. Throwback.
Right. I think that's it for this, right? Like, yeah.
Silent Hill. Love
Silent
it. Need
Hill.
more games.
Yeah.
Oh, we may be getting the remake for Silent Hill 2, but I can't wait till we have a new Silent Hill game in general.
Yeah, Silent Hill F, I think, is the first one coming out. The Japanese feudal one, or like
Yeah, that's
with the
right.
flowers and shit,
Hmm.
where we potentially might learn the origin of how this shit started.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Oh, one segment left.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize your neighborhood. And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell. The foulest stench is in the air, the funk of 40,000 years, and grisly ghouls from every tomb are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver. For no mere mortal can resist the evil of the thriller.
This is the end. The end, my friend. The end. Because it is.
The end segment.
So, as we already said, we're not going to beat a dead horse. This is a re-recording of episode 68. You guys already know the tomfoolery that happened.
It's almost like a slight look into our re-recordings of old episodes. So
Yeah, somewhat, I guess.
An
Yeah,
old to us, new to you episode.
right. Yeah. And at this point, 2 months old to us,
Yeah.
because when going through all that problems, that's how come July we didn't record anything. In August, we only recorded 1 episode. So now that I've got a handle on things, it'll be a little bit better, I think, because even today recording, like, we didn't start until 1, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
3 right now. It only took us 2 hours to do this.
Oh
So yeah, we're getting pumped up, I guess you could say. Like, we're,
It's looking good, brah.
yeah. So to go back over what we said earlier in the episode during the war, we had previously done this.
Mhm.
Now, the funny thing is,
Yeah.
the score for the OG has not changed. It's still 21. But there was previously 2 points to the remake,
Mm-hmm.
which you gave 1 to the soundtrack and 1 to just 1 to the soundtrack. Okay, you only gave 1 point to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
This time you gave -1. So it's still 21 for the OG, but -1 for the remake.
Yeah,
because
for
the
new list.
ending, for the new list, because the ending you hated that much
Yep.
that you took a point away from it.
And it's funny too, because again, that's why I'm excited for when we do the re-recordings of the older episodes.
Yeah,
because you can see how opinions can change even slightly. Because the first time, I know I picked the soundtrack because it's just it's a 2005 soundtrack,
right, right.
But now we're listening to it. I appreciate John Carpenter's work on that music. Yeah. It actually fit the fucking movie. So
it did, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like when it comes to The Fog, it is such an underrated movie, and I'm not saying it's a great movie by any stretch of the means, but it is an underrated movie. Right. Like
it's a charming.
If you have a fucking rainy Saturday afternoon like today,
right,
and it just so happens to be on AMC or something, right, you're not going to change it. It's just one of those little vibey fucking movies.
It's not an over the top horror, but it's a good story.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. So
John Carpenter, come on.
Yeah. And I think we already said, even though we normally don't do it, we already said that episode 70 is going to be The Crow versus The Crow. Mm-hmm. We're not going to talk about any of the ancillary things of that episode.
But the horrors of gaming for that episode, I'm just excited because it's something I've wanted to talk about for years.
Yeah, it's going to be very fun.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I think today's episode sounds fucking amazing, incredible.
Oh yeah,
this might potentially be the best that we've ever sounded.
Knock on wood.
And not saying something because the last episode I thought was the best we ever sounded, except for those little. And that's the other thing, saying that we're evolving again. I know I said it earlier. The last episode we had 2 laptops with 2 Yetis. This episode I had a idea of what if we just did the one Yeti system but on Zoom.
Yeah.
And holy shit. Holy fucking shit.
Oh, yeah.
Night and goddamn day. Because as you guys heard earlier, we even said Jossie was breakdancing in the fucking background. There was pots, pans, this, that, all sorts of shit being gone. We didn't hear nothing.
Yep.
The only time that there was so much going on that I physically got overwhelmed was when we were a couple segments ago.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because there was like everything going on. Movement, people, this, that.
Right.
But none of these people listening will ever hear that, and that's really fucking cool to me.
We're gonna sound like we're insane.
Yeah,
because we're talking to like
nobody,
someone, and you won't hear what they say.
Yep, it's fucking wild. So episode 70 is gonna be cool. Episode 35 of Horror Tube is gonna be cool. Oh wait, we didn't say what episode 35 was gonna be, did we?
Well, just real quick, The Mist, amazing movie.
Yep,
it's been talked about a million times. Silent Hill. Why not? List of Doom, hard as hell to fucking do.
Yeah. Oh, the list for episode 70.
Ooh, I wonder what that would be.
We'll talk about it after. Yeah.
Huh, okay.
All right. So do you have anything else really, I guess?
I guess that's it. There's not much to talk about.
No, I mean, we explained everything, why episode 68 is coming out after 69, and we did all that. We'll have news from
Macabre
Daily for the next episode. And yeah, I guess
what's Horror Tube?
Oh my god, again. Horror Tube is our favorite horror movie endings. I just looked on the list of episodes that we have, and 24 was our favorite horror movie openings.
Yep.
It has been over 10 episodes now, and we did not follow up with our favorite horror movie endings.
And why not now?
Why not now? Going into spooky season.
Yep.
Crack that top open on a brand new spooky season, So yeah, I guess we'll
So for that, we will see you. Wait, no. We always forget to say, like, I'm Josh.
I'm Rob.
And we will see you in 2 and 2. Shout out to Chuck Woolery.
Shout out to motherfucking Chuck Woolery, baby.
Me.
Thank you for listening. Again, my name is Lamont, and I appreciate you sticking around for this ending message. You can find me at Vilcado on Instagram. Also, be sure to follow Horror Wars on all social media platforms, including TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, and everywhere in between. If you want to leave a horror question, comment, or say something about the show, please drop us an email at horrorwarspodcast@gmail.com. See you next time, and remember, keep it classy with a dash of slashy.
And 2 and 2. Be right back.